Welcome to the I Love Coaching podcast, the show where we help coaches, entrepreneurs, and leaders build businesses that create massive impact. I'm Adam Roach, alongside my incredible co-host,
Jess Webber, and we're here today to bring you the best strategies, mindset shifts, and real-life success stories to help you level up in your coaching journey.
Whether you're launching your coaching business, scaling to 6 or 7 figures, or just looking for inspiration to push through, this podcast is your go-to resource.
We're bringing you expert insights, real talk, and actionable items every single episode. So if you're ready to take your coaching game to the next level,
then let's dive on in. Yes, it is time for a recap. It's a time for a recap of 2025, and I want to talk about, let's share with them the 3 things that we learned as coaches who coach coaches in 2025. This is going to be fun.
I love this. I can't believe this is our last podcast episode of the year, but I think it's probably going to be one of my favorites because we've learned a lot together.
We have learned a lot together, and I will honestly say that it's been so rewarding. It's been so rewarding to be so messy and yet so organized, to be so organized but so just completely discombobulated, that we actually help people retire this year, right? And I say that jokingly because, again, we've had a lot of great growth this year as a community, as a team, and I can't wait to share. I can't wait to share what we have learned, and let people just engage with this, because I'm sure they did the same thing.
Well, I sure hope they did, whether it was through something we've shared with them or in their world. I hope that they've been able to pause, reflect, and figure out what they've learned, and it's been a year of growth and opportunity for them.
Yeah, for sure.
What would you say is our first lesson, do you think?
Oh, easy. So easy here. So okay, I'm going to be really exaggeratory here, though at the same time, there's so much that I want to do, right? So many ideas there. It's as the visionary and having you on just right here. It's less is more. It's really simple. It's less is more, because it's there's so many things that I want to do, and I'm so visual that every time we draw out our conversations, it is like, whoa, look how small it actually is. Less is more, Jess. That's the very first thing that I can think of in learning is we don't need so many different moving parts. You really just need one sun.
Yes. Well, I love that you're saying this, because, this is what I've always behaved in as a space of don't do all the things, do the right next thing. And I know we just last podcast episode talked about doing one thing at a time in a 6-week sprint.
Right.
And I think it's so valuable because of the fact that we work with so many visionary coaches to have this conversation about the more complex you make something, the more confusing and the harder it is to sell. And so as coaches, even though we're coaches who coach coaches, right? We had to do the same thing. We could not have different offers or different products, different services, different whatever. We had to have one core thing that solved a problem for our ideal clients. And we had to focus on creating the best system that serves that one thing. And so it wasn't about all the fancy bells and whistles. It wasn't about all the bonus offers when you sign up. It was about providing the highest and best in one space so that it serves everybody and they become raving fans.
That's very true. And again, the thought process of less is more is so, it feels so backwards to me, because it feels like there needs to be so much to create so much value, though it's not even close to being true. When I say, and how we have conversations that we have to have a singular sun. Well, if we really look at our solar system, there's one sun that heats up this entire planet. We don't need 10,000 suns or 10,000 ideas or opportunities to keep us warm. No, or bright lights. You just need one. And I want to bring so many other things into it, and we keep going back to say you don't need that, right? And I think so many coaches coming into the community who have now been in the community and gone through the blueprint realize that less is more, right? It really is that simple, that you don't need all the bells and whistles and gadgets, and even just the same thing with language, right? I know we've talked on here this year about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and that's a true example of still less is more. right? Because
Yeah,
again, when you think about it from that language standpoint, we think that most people need all these aspirational things. They need this fully self-actualization that you can be the best you can be. No, they really just want to keep the lights on and food on the table, right?
exactly.
That less is more. It really, really is. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say that that's number one learning lesson is when you feel friction because you're carrying too much, you probably should just go ahead and drop a few things because you probably only need to carry one thing.
Yep. I mean, I'm a sucker for a nerd reference, and if you've ever seen the movie Labyrinth, there's a creature that is a distraction in the storyline, and she keeps putting things on a backpack until it like overwhelms you and you can't move forward in the process of the storyline and accomplishing the quest that it is. And I always think of that as like coaches and entrepreneurs, when they're frustrated, they're like, okay, I need another thing. I need to add more because the value isn't there because I'm not seeing the results I want. And honestly, the true solution is take off the dang backpack and just
Yeah.
be done with it. Stop
Mhm.
carrying the weight of all those things and figure out what is the one thing that's going to move you down the path faster.
Yeah. Totally.
And so
Totally.
I
Totally.
love that lesson.
Okay.
Okay.
Now you get to pick a lesson. What would you say is another one?
I would say that the biggest thing that we've been working on helping people understand that we had to go through ourselves was everything starts with who, not
True.
everything starts with why, like Simon Sinek, because
True.
I don't think you can have a why without a who.
Agreed. And that's really, really good. Because here's another thing that we have experienced. Here's another thing that we have actually gone through ourselves is wanting to appeal to the masses.
Mm-hmm.
And while that feels good, that holy cow, the entire world knows that I solved this problem, the entire world doesn't need that problem solved, right?
Right.
You need to know who you're specifically speaking to, and then you can solve that problem when you have the avatar well defined. And so when you have clarity on your who, it sure makes things a lot easier.
Percent. Well, and the clarity on the who as your avatar, to use coaching language, also then gives you that less is more framework for everything else. Because if you're not trying to solve everything for everyone and you're trying to solve one problem for one type of person, suddenly you're not doing so much. Everything is simpler and it becomes that much clearer for you how to talk to them, what they need, what they don't need, all of that. And so I love this concept of stripping away the excess and being super intentional with who and how you serve so that you don't feel like you're carrying the giant backpack of stuff, you know?
Right, right. And it's so neat too. When you really have clarity on your who, you can actually measure your passion, your conviction, your true alignment to that who and say, do I really love helping this who? Do I
Yeah.
wake up with a smile on my face and a full heart when I get to see that who on my calendar or that who in my group, right?
Mhm.
That feels good. So we've heard the language of find something you love and you'll never work a day in your life, right? It's actually true. In this capacity,
Mhm.
when you understand the who you're working with, not only do you get to serve them at the highest level because you have passion, but you also have the clarity that they're looking at you as the authority because as we use our acronym real, relevant, experiential, authentic leaders, you get to be a real coach in that space because you're not
100%.
showing up inauthentic. You're not showing up fake. You actually get to lead them, which is influence and getting them to take action to what? To better themselves. And that truly is fulfilling. So when I look at it from the I love coaching standpoint, I don't work a day in my life because these are
Yeah.
my who's. These are the people that, I mean, Jess, getting the text message that we get, getting to have the conversations that we hear these people that will quote unquote say we help retire them. We get coaches that are sending us text messages that are almost hitting 6 figures of MRR in their life, which is monthly recurring revenue. That's worth its weight in gold to me.
It truly is. And it's one of those things where we've found alignment in the way that we work together. We then found alignment in what we wanted to offer people because we had clarity on the who. And so, like you said, we don't work. We
No.
serve, we influence, we impact, but we don't work. And that's
That's right.
such a beautiful thing. So
It is.
I have to ask, do you feel like that leads us to our third lesson that we
Uh,
had?
well, I'll definitely say that that's the easiest one out of all of these. So
Okay.
when you really understand that less is more, and when you really
Mhm.
understand that who you are serving aligns with your head, your heart, your real coaching approach to things, the third thing that we uncovered here is you never stop having fun, right?
Mm.
Is that really is it for me? The values of I Love Coaching are be real, get it done, and do it all while having fun. And I can honestly say that we live out those core values of this entity, the ILC entity, and that last piece is so valuable. You've got to have fun while you're doing this. And if you're not having fun while you're doing this, you probably have the wrong who's. You probably are in a space of carrying too much.
Mhm.
And the learning lesson here is you got to measure that. Are you having fun? It's going to be hard, okay? It is hard. This isn't
Yeah.
easy. And in the same breath, are you having fun? And I will say that there's a large percentage of the time where it is a lot of fun, a lot of work. Do we have confrontation? Yes, hell yeah, we do. We wouldn't have a good relationship if we didn't have conversation, confrontation. And
Yes.
so it's you got to do this while having
Yes. Well, it goes back to if you're in alignment with who you are and who you're helping, you're going to have fun. If you're
yeah.
not in alignment, then the friction's going to be there, the uncertainty around everything's going to be there, and it's going to feel more like work than it is
Mhm.
fun.
Right.
And so, I'll kind of wrap this up and say if you're not having fun in your current vertical, then maybe you need to switch verticals and
Mhm.
find something that's more aligned with who you are.
Mhm.
And that's one of our favorite things to help people do.
Mhm.
And we do that a lot in our challenge, in all honesty. We
Mhm.
have people come in and they will say, I'm going to coach so and so. And we love breaking mindsets and preconceived notions and
Yeah.
helping people discover their who in a very quick and simple framework through our 3-day challenge. And then they get to go turn around and create a 10, 20, 30K offer
Right.
that suddenly doesn't feel like work anymore.
Well, what's interesting here, real quick, is we've seen coaches come in this year that have felt they should be grateful for where they are, but that
Mhm.
friction is telling them actually that they're not really having fun. If you have to tell yourself, I should be grateful, something is misaligned and you're really not going to be having the fun and it's not going to continue.
Yeah.
So, gratitude in this space of enjoying what you're doing is not something that should be forced. This is something that I love ending our community call saying how grateful I am to the coaches that are in that community,
Mhm.
to the coaches that are going to the blueprint, to the coaches that are retiring from their survivor jobs, to the coaches that are making nearly six figures a month because it's authentic gratitude there. And
Well,
yeah,
it should be authentic gratitude for the lessons, not authentic gratitude, or it should be not be inauthentic gratitude for the container that the lessons are coming from.
nailed it, nailed it, nailed it. And that's what most people do. So yeah, you want to experience this if you're in a space right now where you feel like you're doing a lot of heavy lifting, you are unclear on who your who is, you know that you're not having fun but you're faking that you're having fun, you need to go register for our challenge because the challenge is where it's going to help you uncover that. It's going to help you bring clarity and quite frankly you're going to have time where you get to feel us having fun. And we know that, Jess, that's really contagious. So go register at ilovecoachingco.com/challenge. And we will see you there in the next one. And Jess, what an incredible year we've had. This has been so much fun. Yeah, we just said that. This has been so much fun, so rewarding. We're so blessed to get to do what we do. And 2026 is just, it's going to continue and it's going to
Mhm.
continue at a much larger clip. And that's what I'm excited about is we have a vision statement, and that is to empower coaches. And that's everybody. So not just us, but that's everybody, empowering everybody in the community to empower coaches to change and serve 100 million people through our real coach method. And it's going to keep growing, right?
It's a movement that
It
we're
won't
here
stop.
for.
Yeah, it's very true. So everyone go have a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year. And we will see you in 2026.
Bye.
See you
Thank
guys.
you.